So, um, what if having way too much data about your golf swing is actually like the exact reason you keep slicing the ball into the woods?
Oh, it absolutely is. It's a massive trap for the modern golfer.
Right, because we live in this era where, anyone can just buy a portable launch monitor, stick it behind their golf ball on the driving range, and boom, you're instantly bombarded with numbers.
Yeah, exactly. You hit a terrible shot and the screen just lights up, right?
Yeah.
It tells you your club head speed was 95 miles per hour, your attack angle was -2 degrees, your club face was open.
Open by 4 degrees, yeah.
Yeah.
And you think, great, I have all the information now. I know exactly what's wrong.
But you don't, because then you step up to the next ball, you try to like manually close the club face, and you hit an even worse shot.
Totally. And that exact data trap is, well, it's the core problem we're tackling in today's deep dive.
It's the illusion of knowledge, really. The tech tells you the result, but it leaves you completely blind to the actual physical cause.
Exactly. You have a mountain of data, but zero actionable understanding of your own body. So for you listening, we're looking at a stack of sources today, detailing a platform called eCoach360 degrees.
Right. And they're explicitly marketing this as a golf intelligence platform.
Yeah. Which signals right out of the gate that we aren't just talking about, some generic app where a guy in sunglasses gives you a 2-minute video tip on your grip.
No, it's an entirely different architecture. For decades, traditional golf instruction has had to rely on like highly subjective opinion.
Right. One coach says, move your feet. Another says, drop your hands.
Exactly. And modern tech added objective numbers. But like we said, it only tells you what happened at impact. eCoach 360 degrees is built on this philosophy that true improvement only happens when you connect the cause and effect.
What happens, why it happens, how to fix it, and how to measure that improvement.
Precisely. It connects body motion, club motion, the impact conditions, and the ball flight into one complete learning ecosystem.
Okay, so logistically, before we get into the heavy science, if someone wants to actually use this, how do they even access the platform? Like, where do we start?
Well, it's actually very straightforward. You create an account, you log into the platform, and the very first thing you do is select your preferred language.
Oh, nice. So it's accessible globally right from the jump.
Exactly. And once you're in, you land on the main dashboard, which is essentially your hub. From there, you can easily navigate to all the different learning modules, the assessments, the AI features. It's all centralized.
Okay, got it. So let's talk about those learning modules. Because the sources outline 4 specific scientific pillars that this whole thing is built on, right?
Yeah, and those 4 pillars are completely non-negotiable for how the platform operates. The first pillar is golf biomechanics.
Which is basically the pure study of how the human body moves in space, right?
Right. And the platform breaks this down into really specific modules in what they call the workshop center. So you're looking at things like pelvis sway, pelvis rotation.
Chest rotation, lift, side bend, forward bend. It's analyzing the literal architecture of your posture.
Exactly. It's the physical hardware of the golfer. It's asking, what are your joints and your spine actually doing?
Okay, so biomechanics, the hardware. What's the second pillar?
The second pillar is golf kinematics. So if biomechanics is the hardware, kinematics is how that hardware sequences together over time.
Ah, okay, the choreography.
Yeah, perfectly said. It's the study of motion. The platform looks at your kinematic sequencing. Like, are your hips firing and then decelerating at the exact right moment to transfer energy to your shoulders?
Right, because you could have perfect biomechanics, great spine angle, perfect posture, but if you fire your shoulders before your hips, your kinematic sequence is broken and the whole swing just falls apart.
Exactly. Which brings us to the third pillar, and this is where the power actually comes from. Ground reaction forces, or GRF.
Which has been like a massive buzzword in golf science lately.
Oh, it's exploded. It's the study of how golfers use the ground to generate rotational speed. You aren't just swinging a metal stick with your arms, you know.
Right, you're pushing down into the earth. And Newton's third law says the earth pushes back up.
Exactly. How efficiently you manage that vertical, lateral, and rotational force dictates your power. And then the fourth pillar is where it all comes together. Club kinematics and ball flight cause and effect.
Because the golf ball doesn't actually know who's hitting it, does it?
No, it has no idea. It only knows the exact physics of the club face at the exact millisecond of impact. How did the biomechanics and the ground forces deliver that club?
I want to pause on these 4 pillars because, for me, this highlights a massive gap in how most of us approach the game. Think about it like going to the doctor, right?
Okay, yeah.
So the launch monitor we talked about earlier, that's basically a thermometer. It tells you that you have 102-degree fever. It gives you the what?
Right. The symptom.
Exactly. But these 4 pillars, the biomechanics, the kinematics, the ground reaction forces, that's the MRI. That is the deep tissue scan showing you the exact infection causing the fever. It's giving you the why.
That MRI analogy is spot on. You cannot sustainably cure a fever if you don't know the source of the infection. And you can't permanently fix a slice if you don't know which specific kinematic sequence is failing.
You might find a quick Band-Aid fix, sure.
Yeah, but under pressure, that slice is coming right back.
Okay, but here's my major hesitation with all of this.
Huh.
Knowing all this dense science, the pelvis sway, the ground forces, that's great when I'm, sitting on my couch with a coffee.
Right. It's interesting theory.
But applying biomechanical theory when I'm actually standing on a driving range, sweating, holding a 7-iron,
Yeah.
that is completely different cognitive task.
Yeah.
If an app starts lecturing me about my deceleration patterns while I'm trying to hit a ball, I'm going to freeze up.
Oh, you'll forget how to swing entirely.
Exactly. So how does the platform actually translate this heavy science without completely overwhelming the user?
Well, that cognitive overload is the exact problem their dual AI system is designed to solve. It's probably the smartest architectural choice they made.
Dual AI, so they're 2 different bots.
Yeah, 2 distinct AI personas that handle different psychological needs. The first persona is the AI golf assistant. Think of this as your scientific educator.
Like the professor in the laboratory.
Yes. The assistant is there for deep theory. If you're at home and you ask the platform, why am I slicing the golf ball, or what causes early extension, the assistant steps in. It breaks down the biomechanics, it explains the physics, it gives you the full scientific breakdown.
Okay, but again, I don't want a physics lecture on the tee box.
Which is why, when you are actually practicing, you switch to the second persona, the AI golf pro. This is your coach on the range.
Okay, so what does the AI pro do differently?
It completely abandons the lengthy scientific explanations. Its entire focus is on practical, immediate execution. It can interpret your swing data, analyze movement patterns, and it gives you advice in a very strict, actionable structure.
Yeah, I saw this in the sources, and it's fascinating. It breaks every piece of advice into 5 strict steps, right? Observation, what to do, feel, practice, and next step.
It strips away all the noise. One primary issue, the observation. One mechanical correction, what to do. One specific physical sensation to focus on the feel.
And the feel part is so critical. If I ask for help with my slice, it doesn't say increase the rotational velocity of your pelvis. It says feel like your right pocket is pulling straight back.
Exactly. The sources use a great phrase. The assistant teaches. The professional coaches. It's a vital division for sports psychology.
Okay, so the dual AI solves the cognitive overload. But golf is like a game of amnesia. I'll hit a great on Saturday, and 2 weeks later, I'll completely forget that feel and regress. Does the app just start over with me?
No, the platform anticipates that regression. It acts as a continuous memory bank through what they call the AI golf book.
Is that just a digital notepad?
Much more than that. It's the operational center. Every question you ask, every module you complete, your journal entries, it's all synthesized there.
Yeah.
When you log in, it tells you exactly what you've done, what you're studying, and what your next step is.
But my next step as a 20 handicap is going to be wildly different from a PGA pro using the app.
Absolutely. And the platform customizes that pathway during onboarding. Whether you're a beginner, an amateur, a competitive player, or a PGA professional, it personalizes the journey.
How does it sort amateurs, for example?
Based on your handicap, it sorts you into progression groups. Group A is for higher handicaps, focusing strictly on setup and slice control. Group B gets into ball flight and pivot dynamics.
And it goes all the way up to Group D, which is like ground reaction forces and advanced stuff.
Right. You shouldn't be optimizing ground forces if you can't even grip the club correctly.
Makes total sense. But wait, why is this for PGA pros? Don't they already know how to teach?
For a teaching pro, it becomes an advanced coaching environment. They can use the AI Pro to help create better coaching strategies or use the modules to visually demonstrate cause and effect to a student. It accelerates their own continuing education.
Okay, that's smart. But I want to talk about what the platform is doing quietly in the background. The sources mention a learning intelligence system.
Yes, it's continuously analyzing your behavior, which workshops you complete, your assessment scores, your journal notes, and it uses all that to generate your unique learning DNA.
Learning DNA, so it's mapping how I learn, not just how I swing.
Exactly, and that DNA fuels the knowledge gap engine, which is probably the most powerful tool in the whole platform.
Because identifying your own gap is nearly impossible when you're self-teaching.
Right. The knowledge gap engine constantly evaluates what you understand, what's missing, and what specific gap is limiting your development the most.
So, like, if I keep asking the AI about early extension, but the engine sees I failed an assessment on pelvis rotation 3 weeks ago.
It connects those dots. It realizes your bottleneck isn't your arms. It's that you don't understand how your pelvis moves. So it redirects your curriculum back to that specific workshop.
That is wild. And you mentioned assessments to prove you've actually closed that gap. The platform has a certification system, right? The performance passport.
Yes, and it's not just useless digital badges where you guess multiple choice answers.
Right, because we've all done that in apps before.
Yeah, you just click until you get it right. But here, the certifications are built around those 4 scientific pillars. You earn them by successfully completing modules, taking learning assessments, and getting instant feedback that proves you actually understand the concepts.
So the performance passport tells me where I am, what I've learned, and what I need to focus on next.
Exactly. It makes the invisible process of learning totally visible.
Okay, so for someone listening who is ready to jump into this, what are the actual recommendations for getting the most out of it?
The platform gives very clear guidance on this. First, start with the fundamentals. Do not skip ahead.
Right, stay in your progression group.
Exactly. Complete one workshop at a time. Take notes in your golf book. Use the AI assistant frequently to ask questions when you're confused.
And I'm assuming you have to actually go hit golf balls too.
Yes. Apply the concepts during practice sessions using the AI Pro and return to the app regularly to reinforce the learning.
Okay, we've covered a massive amount of ground today. To summarize, eCoach360 Degrees isn't trying to be the largest generic golf app in the world.
No, not at all.
It aims to be the most precise educational environment. It uses that dual AI system, the assistant, to teach the deep science, and the pro to actually coach you on the range. It tracks everything in your AI golf book, maps your learning DNA, and hunts down your knowledge gaps.
It's basically a next-generation learning platform that uses AI, biomechanics, and performance analytics to accelerate improvement.
Right. And for you listening, the key takeaway is that true improvement requires understanding the cause of the failure. You have to stop just measuring the bad result. Stop staring at the thermometer and demand the MRI.
Absolutely. And looking at all this leaves us with a pretty provocative final thought.
Oh, what's that?
Well, this platform is successfully mapping the science of human movement into these highly actionable steps using AI, right?
Yeah.
It customizes a learning path down to your specific learning DNA. So if an AI can perfectly diagnose our kinematic flaws and explain exactly how to fix them, will the traditional instinct-based art of sports coaching eventually become completely obsolete?
Wow.
I mean, will it be entirely replaced by data-driven, AI-guided biomechanics?
That is a wild thought to leave on. I mean, the next time you're standing on a tee box staring into the woods where your ball just disappeared, maybe the answer isn't another quick tip from a random guy on the range. Maybe it's finally understanding the actual science of your own swing. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the mechanics of improvement. We'll catch you next time.